And good evening, folks. Good evening. Hopefully everybody is here and as Thrifty is saying, one hobbit, one man, or as in this case, two podcasts enter, one podcast leaves. For this evening, because against my better judgment, Stephen, my colleague here, invited our nemesis to tonight's show. Our nemesis. And it is going to be a bust-up. We have in the house tonight, we have Matt Slipjoint Sawyer and John Thrifty Kniffy from all the way across the other side of the pond in the United States. Welcome, guys. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. And I hope we can make it as entertaining as we absolutely hope it's going to be this evening.
Well, Slippy isn't the other side of the world. Slippy's here.
You know,
he's the other side of the shuck.
He's the other side of the shuck, as opposed to the
They're
other
both
side
from the other side of the shuck.
Oh, there's that. Details. So very welcome, guys. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And look, for the very few out there who maybe don't know these two characters, I'm going to let John introduce them and tell you a wee bit about them. You've probably seen them on YouTube plenty, but they have a separate wee thing going together, a sort of bromance, if you like. And so I'll let John introduce the love life.
All right, so no, we are not having a romance. We have separate channels. I have my own channel. Slippy has his own channel, and we collaborate from time to time on a show we call the Slippy and Thrifty Show. And I want to tell you a little bit about an upcoming episode that we're going to coming out. We're doing something a little controversial next time. We're going to be taking 40 knife channels and rating them in order.
Wow.
Yeah, but we're going to exclude ourselves because we're not that arrogant. Well, at least I'm not. I'm not sure about Slippy. He might be.
Slippy number one. Number one. In your dreams, Matt. In your dreams.
I'm British. What do you expect?
Yeah, modesty and a kind of almost masochistic reserve and self-effacing attitude.
Of course, yeah, definitely.
Sorry, John, we interrupted.
No, you're fine. I just was going to say that, so that's going to be a fun project that we're going to film tomorrow. We're going to record that tomorrow, and that'll be...
So have you already picked the 40 in order?
We've got about 12 that we've got, and then we're going to use that as a baseline and then go from there. But we're going to try to build it up to about 40, I think.
Are you going to do this over a period of weeks, John, or?
No, all in one episode.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Now there's ambition.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we'll probably just I don't know where to start. We'll
Not
probably just talk about like the top 5 or so, and then just kind of give a ranking of the rest. So it won't be a super long,
That is quite controversial, I have to say. That's a brave move.
It's brave. We're gonna have some haters, I know it.
But this is the thing about rating show on YouTube, is that because it's your own opinion, everybody like the proverbial everybody's got one, so you're bound to have some disagreement in the house.
Sure. Yeah.
Somewhere around the line.
Even Slippy and I are going to agree on all of them, so it'll be fun to kind of argue back and forth about it.
There could be trouble ahead.
It's starting to sound a lot like us.
Well, actually, you know that we agree over everything, because if you want my opinion, you give it to me,
yes,
or beat it out of me. I mean, that's why it works. But that would be a great one, well worth watching. When can we expect that to be out, John?
Oh man, it's just going to kind of depend on how much editing it's going to require, but I'm thinking probably by midweek next week.
Oh, good,
excellent.
Good. That is
first class.
Yeah, that's been done many different ways, but not quite like this. When 2 people pick the top 40, that's quite quite good. I like that. I like that as long as I'm in the top half.
I'm back.
Oh well, I can tell you in advance you're going to fare pretty well, I think.
So
39.
So it's not going to be, as Mikey Newman says, that he's going to be put at 41 out of the rankings altogether.
Well, yeah, when you're not even considered, that's the most insulting thing of all, right?
Quite possibly. Quite possibly. There could be an awful
Honestly,
lot.
we'll probably forget somebody who deserves to be in there.
Yeah.
that'll be the
That'll make for a whole other podcast.
right.
And we're getting Byron is getting a second opinion, Matt, on the Echo, but he seems to think that it's appropriate for John's godlike presence. It is.
Yes. The omnipotent God.
I don't
over
know
here.
what's going on with it. My sound keeps dropping in and out, and I don't know what's going on.
Oh yeah.
It's
That's
okay.
right.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. The chances are that we're just sabotaging you. So it's
Probably.
always a possibility.
Wouldn't put it back.
Okay.
Have you got any topics you would like to bring up?
Well, the
Either
first
about
thing we have to
podcasts
know
or-
is- the first thing we have to know is why the patch fell off of your shirt, Judd.
Yes, I already have to eat humble pie because I'm out of uniform tonight, and I do apologise for that because my leprechaun came off in the wash, and it's something that I will have to fix for upcoming podcasts.
He was very humble coming in the door tonight.
Sorry, Paddy. Sorry, Stephen. Sorry.
And after I whacked him with a shillelagh a couple of times, I've sort of forgiven him now.
Oh,
But,
I know.
I think
I
he should have
spent
a
so
tattoo
much
on
on
his
these.
forehead to make up for it.
Yeah, I spent so much on these. They were just under £4 for one. It's just
I
ridiculous.
know, and that's
Well,
how
it's
much I'm
altered
worth
my,
to him.
my questions for you because I was trying to figure out which of the two of you were the fry cook and which of you were the cashier. The
Come on,
Lucky
I'm
Burger.
front of house, John. I'm front of house with a face like this. Come on.
I figured with the belly of Paddy, he'd be back there sampling the food. But
What belly?
Did he just call you fat?
I
Is that
think
what
he
he
did.
said?
Yeah, I think he did.
All right,
innit?
that's him removed. That's him removed. He's out of here.
Um,
Jeez, it only took like 8 minutes.
yeah.
Here's a question. Since you've started the podcast, has it give you a new look on YouTube, or has it give you a new something extra than just your single podcast or your single YouTube channel?
Yeah, I mean, I give it a brand new appreciation for the amount of work required to put out content. That's for sure, and that's always been something that I admired whenever I watched content that I was really fond of because it was like, man, I sure wish they could do more of it, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like maybe you're wanting even more and more of the content, and it's like, well, you know how long it takes to do that. Sort of get a really appreciation for the amount of time that it requires. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I actually noticed you put out a wee survey last week or this week, actually, didn't you, to see if people...
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, did you get any kind of response, or did people just ignore
Hey,
you?
got one from me.
Less.
You did.
Do more, you lazy shit.
And it's on.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's been interesting to kind of get feedback in that realm because it's, I really can only do what I can do, but it's nice to know what they want. So,
John, if you want your subs to decline and you sort of hover about numbers that you think you should be well past, just follow my lead. No editing.
yeah.
It'll destroy, but it makes you can do more videos.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing.
That's why they call him One Shot Anderson
Yeah,
these days.
it's
It's just
shotgun
one
shell.
shot. That's it. One and done.
Film
That's
post
it.
post.
Yeah, it's throw the spaghetti against the wall type of thing. You can throw
Yeah.
more out there. Some of them are going to stick. So,
I think if I had to do editing, I would be doing one video a week.
Oh yeah.
Without and that's probably not even getting it all finished.
Because when we started doing this, we would do them. Didn't do them live, and then I edited them all, so they cut out the crappy bits
Yeah.
and the down bits, and it was great to learn the skills. But honest to God, the amount of time you put into it, see the live streaming, it just is so much more. I don't know, it's so much more fun because it takes all the effort out of it
Yeah.
in many ways, all the graft to a certain extent, and you
Yeah, I
do get a
suck at
certain
editing
amount
too.
of. Say again, Matt. Sorry.
I suck at editing as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a man that does that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm his minion basically.
Have you got anything exciting planned apart from that one thing you've got? Anything else in the pipeline that people can look forward to?
I mean, we're really unprofessional. So no.
Well, we've kind of both had a recent almost addiction to sack knives, so we're like almost having to rein ourselves in on how much of the sack knives reviews we've been doing, because I bought like 4 in the last 2 weeks, and he's
What you
bought
get? What you get?
probably-
What you get? What you get?
It's, yeah. Yeah, I got executive.
Very
I
nice.
got a tinker, a
Great
rally,
classic.
and a camper. Yes.
Camper. Very
Matt,
nice.
I've actually got stacks left, and if you want to buy any more, I just didn't want to throw them at you. I've got stacks here. I'm cutting mine down. So,
You know, I'm always in the market for doing, Stephen.
yeah, I've got plenty, and it's I'm not over. Well, I hope I'm not overcharging, or you feel I'm not overcharging.
Well, seeing while we're on the subject, do you want to hear an interesting story about some sacks?
Obviously.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to go to the camel cam, just for a moment. We're going to shift over to the knife cam. Okay.
Right.
And I'm going to show you these two knives. Okay. Now these two are sacks, as you can quite nicely see. All right. So let me go full screen here so we can see them. But these have just returned from Victorinox after being repaired. Okay. So the first one is a little ambassador, and I think what's happened, this one was all beaten to hell and gone, and I mean the state of it was actually quite distressing.
I didn't break it. It's broke.
But
Can't open that wee blade.
here, let's see what's going on there. Oh, that is weird.
Mustn't do it with a.
The spring is on the
Yeah.
scissors is weird, but it's an ambassador and what's called a motorist. Now both of these are discontinued, but the ambassador at least is a fairly recent one. But both of these were badly beaten up. The ambassador, I think they've replaced entirely because they still had them in stock. Took them about 8 weeks to do it, but no questions asked.
That's not bad to get to Europe,
Oh,
and get
yeah, I went all
two
the way to
knives.
Switzerland to do it. The motorist, however, is a late 90s model that Dan gave me for a song, and the corkscrew on the back of it was broken off, and I just sent it away, and they've replaced the corkscrew and tuned up the whole thing.
I've got the wrong specs on. I can't see
Oh, is that why?
flipping thing.
But it's hold it under the camera, man. So you can
Oh,
actually
sorry,
see
yeah.
it.
That's better.
Okay, so the motorist is an unusual one. It's actually the only one with a combination of the wood saw and the pliers. So it's sort of like a slightly cut down handyman, and it comes with economy scales. So I got these as really beaten up tools that I could have probably taken apart and fixed myself, but I really, really, really wanted to test out the warranty and that was completely snapped off. The corkscrew. I really wanted to test out the warranty on in Victorinox, and I have to say, service has been absolutely fantastic.
It looks like brand new, isn't it?
It really does.
It looks like it's even these scales are absolutely.
The scales are brand new, definitely. They must have them in stock, and I don't have an awful lot of the economy scales.
They're different ones as well because
Yeah,
they're
they're
not
nylon.
smooth and nylon. It
Yeah.
really is lovely. Look at that. I mean, it's perfect.
Very nicely
They've done a great job.
Yeah, I have to
And
say.
I was it cost you a tenner a knife to get the knives back, but that's really just covering the postage as much as anything else. And I was really impressed with the service.
How
as
much did
as
it cost
anything.
to send them to?
Well, it only cost me about five or six quid
In
to
postage?
in postage
Oh, that's really
because
good.
it went to the UK service centre, which is in Burton on Trent,
Oh, right,
and
right.
then they send it on to Victorinox in Switzerland.
That's absolutely
It
brilliant.
works really well, and I was very impressed with it. And it's nice to have a couple of extra sacks. I do, as you know, I do like my 74 mils. Mil sacks, my executives and ambassadors, and it means I've got 2 of each now, so
That's lovely.
it'll keep me going now that you can't get them anymore, which is well tasty.
Matt, do you like the smaller ones as well? You know, the little penknife type ones, the thin aluminium?
Yeah, the A-locks, yeah.
Well, not
Big
the
fan.
A-locks, the aluminium.
Bit small for me.
Right. Okay. Just letting me know what to give you pictures of.
Right, excellent. Yeah.
As long as it's not
Matt likes
pictures of
his full
yourself
size
again.
ones.
No
was
body
that?
art.
Yeah, no body art this time.
You get that for free. Don't worry. There's no charge.
Good.
And Matt, you've been going mad on the sax as well, haven't you?
Oh, obsessed. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's a disease.
It really is.
I do. It happened to me a year ago.
The amount I've had in the last, I don't know, that's new. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 10 in the last 3 weeks.
Honestly, in a couple of months, I bought about 40.
Yeah.
I went from none to 40.
Yeah,
They're so
And I think
affordable as
it was
well. It's hard to stop.
I know. And there've actually been quite a few promotions on Amazon at the minute, so it makes it almost even
That's
more
where I got
irresistible.
most of them from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a white Spartan off Amazon that was like a $5 off. What's this one? Have I reviewed this one? Yeah, a Super Tinker that was on offer for like 20 quid.
Yeah.
Bloomin' heck.
Just loads of stuff.
Bloomin' good for a super
Super
tinker.
Tank was good. It was brilliant price for it.
I think
What's this one
5.
called?
Yeah.
I can't remember. The Recruit, that was another one off them.
Yeah, I do like a recruit. But
and
I
the
like cadet as well.
S14.
The
That's
the
not a
demo-
sack.
It's
No.
not. It's a sack, but it's not a Victorinox.
But yeah, just loads. And I've had to sort of rein myself in from every video being a sack video.
Yeah.
I'll have to
But,
say, I'm actually going to start, probably next month, I'm going to start reviewing knives that I've had in my collection for sort of over 2 years, just to re-review them, because I've had lots of subs in that time. And I think there's, people, if they're a half decent knife, people don't mind watching a review again, especially when they're a bit older, I think.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah.
Because all you get on YouTube now is Civivi or high-end, Chinese ones.
Yeah. There's an awful lot of
I
it.
also got this piece of junk in as well.
Oh no, what a piece of crap. Alright, I'm going to bring you up full screen, Matt, so you can show it off.
He done a lovely video on it today. Please go and watch
Not
this video.
yourself. Good.
Where's my production values?
Shoddy production.
Oh my god, look at it now! What's going
Oh
on?
my god.
Hold on a wee second.
Here's a
I'm
knife,
getting it, I'm
everyone.
getting
Just so
it.
we are still knife
Here we go.
Oh, there you go.
related.
Go for it,
We
big
got there in
guy.
the end. So I have having to try and hide all the blade dings from trying to cut through a car.
Probably went through it like a
Yeah.
lightsaber, Matt.
In this sanitarium, which is rightly named, people were encouraging to cut bolts, nails, put it in the car bonnet. Just
Yeah,
What do you
that's
think
only
I'm
because
not
they
gonna
know it's
do
your
that?
knife.
We had
I will
one.
fold to peer pressure for a laugh.
We had one request to chuck it into the sea.
Seriously,
You know,
what do you
In all
think of it?
fairness, it's made really well, but it's a bit flashy, isn't it?
there's absolutely no doubt, but it's not trying to be tame. The whole point of that knife is to be flashy. It's not trying to be anything else. I mean, it is just a custom piece that you want to take out and show and maybe do light cutting. That's all that'll ever do is cut a bit of paper or cardboard or something.
Hang on, let me hide the edge so you can't see all the marks.
And it's powdered steel. It can be worked. It's not as if it can't be
Yeah.
worked. A lot of the custom
I won't
makers.
lie, I've been using it all day, and
Yeah.
all day yesterday as well.
That's what's supposed to be done. I mean, I'm quite happy with it. Like I said, you use it because
Yeah.
you'll never really get to know what the edge is like if you don't cut something.
No, if you're gonna have a knife and just flip it about and put it back in a drawer, there's no point.
No point. No point. I say weddings and things like that. That will find its way into my pocket.
Barbecues, maybe not so much.
Not so much in the barbecues, yeah. My Big
Definitely
Daddy
not
Rough
take
Rider
that
does
one.
then.
Yes, there is that one.
There's bound to be someone to have to take offence to it if you take it out in the public in the UK, because it's an illegal weapon, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm dangerous. Dangerous Paddy, they call me over here.
Is that
What do
your-
you think of the
isn't
flipper,
that-
flipper
isn't
tab
danger
in
your
general?
middle
Are
name?
you a flipper knife? You like the flipper tab, or you?
Not a
Me?
great lover of the. If I had a choice, mine would be a thumb stud if I had choice. I'm not a great. But when somebody offers you a beautiful knife for your collection, you don't say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't like flippers."
Well,
Right.
yeah, that's very true.
Well, I don't. Let me say that. I'll just speak on my behalf. No, I don't. I've loved their knives. I had one about 2 years ago they sent me, which was the bigger
Stinger.
version of that.
Yeah, the Stinger, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's exactly the same as that, the Sting, but just a bigger version. And let me tell you, I cut carpet with it, done everything with it, and it was about £600 then, which is just massive for my. I don't have that sort of money to spend on a knife, but I loved it. And to get the smaller one, it's just easier in the pocket. It's just beautiful. I have to
Yeah,
say.
I will say that's probably the best size for it.
Yeah,
It was a 4-inch close, I think it is.
yeah, exactly.
It's-
4-inch close,
in your
3-inch
hand
blade.
really
Roughly.
nice.
It. I just hang on the end and no more. But like I said, if you're hanging on, that's enough.
I'm sorry, but that just looks wrong in his hands. It should be in my hand. It should be in
It's
my
not
hand.
coming back.
Matt, get it back here. Get it back here instantly.
I've forgotten
give it,
Stephen's
give it,
address.
give it to me now. Here we are.
In fact, I've
Hand
got
it-
there's a
hand it
nice
over.
envelope here actually with John's name on it. I might put it in that one.
I don't want it.
I take it, John. I take it. You haven't had mine yet, John.
No, I have. No, they've been. What?
Oh no, that'll take like 2 weeks to get there. There's no
It's gonna
chance I
take
got
at
there
least-
overnight.
Yeah, it's got to be through customs yet.
Normally about between 5 and 7 days. I think getting to America is faster than America get to here sometimes, for whatever reason. But I hope you like it. I'll have to apologise. Don't unbox it on camera. It's the worst packaging you'll ever see in your life.
So,
It
John,
can't
have
be
you
any
got
worse.
anything?
No.
It can't be any worse than the cocaine brick I sent John.
It was a cocaine brick. I was like, how have they not stopped
It
this?
was
No,
black
honestly.
shrink wrap and everything.
I'm surprised they didn't throw it out of the plane on the way over.
John, have you got anything new recently? Recently that you'd like to
Yeah,
share?
I reviewed this recently. This Rough Rider.
Now that's me.
Lovely.
There we
There
go.
we go.
Oh, very cool.
The Red Fox series that come out with recently.
And I think was it what do you call him? Pete. But he got the white one as well. I really like the white and black. I think that looked nice.
Yeah, the Arctic Fox series
Yeah.
is what he had. But it's not only just a Red Rough Rider or a new one. It's a sow belly, of course. So I had to have.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
And,
it's a nice, really nice knife.
I'm going to be staying on top of every new release just to make sure I don't miss out.
What are the covers, John? Is it wood or micarta?
It's actually G10.
G10?
Yeah.
But it's that it's domed, so it looks really nice. You get that.
You can't really see it properly on camera, but the pictures John takes at the end of his video does it more justice.
Yeah.
than
Yeah. The layering on it is just a very slight color of red in the layering you can see.
Oh, very nice.
But without the proper lighting, you're never going to be able to see it.
Yeah. Ooh. Are they available over here yet?
Well,
They are if you know who to speak to.
Ooh.
You can actually, you can go on Heine Inns and ask them to bring it
Yeah,
in the
pretty
next
much.
ship. Huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Just ask
Yeah.
Richard to get it for you.
That's what he's done.
Yeah, because I mean,
It's
they
actually
very rarely.
arriving tomorrow.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's actually arriving tomorrow along with others.
Lovely. Lovely. Yeah, they very rarely get the new ones in just naturally as they come out. It's usually about 3 or 4 months later. And then nobody wants to see a video of something that's been out for 4 months.
Yeah, I did say to him, I said there's a new couple of series coming out. Maybe you should try and get them in when they release because it's the best stuff they've brought out apart from the classic carbon, cinnamon carbon stuff. I think that apart from that, this is the best stuff they've brought out. And there's none of that rectal thermometer on the bolster either.
Yeah.
Right.
You say, I will buy them now again. That's what I want to rebuild my Rough Rider collection. But unlike a lot of people, I just buy one of each pattern. I don't buy
Every single sow belly.
but that's, I mean, I love
creation.
It's just a different way of collecting. Like I said to John before, I mean, it's a different way of collection. I just do it differently. But I really do. When they come out with a pattern like that Fox one, I mean, it's just beautiful. I mean, for that price, for goodness sake, you couldn't. Even
No,
if it was
couldn't
janked
help it.
and rub it against the sides, it'd still be worth it.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's just-
$14 is all it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Seriously?
Yeah, it'll be over 20 here, I would say.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, I think they were about 22.
Yeah.
I got them from Richard.
I mean, if that's not worth $14. I mean, I don't
It's
know.
worth. Do you want to know? It's worth $22 to me. I'd quite happily pay £22,
Right.
I should say, which is
Yeah.
what $25. So
It's
yeah,
still a bargain.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I was on Heine today actually, and I noticed that they've got some of the old Rough Rider, sorry, Belly Stockman, and some of the other ones on really heavily discounted at the minute. So I'm wondering, Matt, if
Yeah,
they're
I saw
getting
that
new
too a
stuff
couple of
in.
days ago.
Flippy
Yeah.
just bought one of the black and blue.
Yeah,
I saw
I
that.
was looking at that myself. Yeah, but it's almost like they're trying to clear out. It feels
Yeah.
like they're trying to clear out the rectal thermometer,
I even
as you described it.
I even picked out the
I like that.
the Congress.
Yeah,
the Congress, the one I couldn't remember on yesterday's video.
Yeah, and it's got a decent sized blade. I'd say it's like the larger Congress.
Uh,
Because I've got
I've got
three
one-
Congress from Rough Rider now, and they're all different sizes. They're not
I
even
love
like-
that color on the handles, but I can't do that big R anymore. I'm just
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
going to buy them anymore.
it's so last season.
That's the one from the the tortoiseshell series, and then this is the one from.
Yeah,
Black
it is.
and Blue.
Yeah.
So
Well,
there's
it's
a big
nice to get a bigger one because you don't often get the bigger ones with Rough
No.
Rider.
difference.
Yeah.
And I put, what was it? I think it was £14 on Heine for this, and the fit and finish is fantastic on it.
It
really
looks,
does
yeah.
look well.
That's a
All the
lovely.
blades are great. I don't think there's any blade rub on it at all. Not that I've noticed, anyway. They've all got good action on them.
I know they do look well.
What more can you ask for?
Well, that leads me on to another little segue that I'm going to slip into about Heine Haynes. Well, it's not about Heine Haynes. It's about another knife company that will be sold at Heine Haynes in the very near future. And it's another American-based company. Now, their knives at the moment are made in China, but they're hoping to move into... I'm hoping they're going to move into the old Hickory factory. The... what do you call it? The...
Ontario.
You're looking at me as if I know. I don't even know where
The
you're
one
going.
that's
Ontario
closed,
Knife
Ontario Rat have just closed.
Oh, right,
They've
yes.
closed down, so I'm hoping maybe that could be an
Knife,
opening
okay,
for this company. Anyway, the company is Rosecraft Blades, and they will now be available very, very shortly from Heine Haynes. They're going to be sold over here, which I think is great because we just need more of them companies to get their knives over. And I think the amount of people now who are collecting and actually audibly collecting because they're joining in the videos, they're making new we've got new channels all coming through. I think will actually be a good seller for an awful lot of companies if they can bring especially the more budget to medium range knives into Heine that are exciting that people want to see. So
But it's even more than that. It's getting another taste of those knives that have been available in the States for a while.
yeah,
That we've been drooling over for the last 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
And wondering when the hell are they going to get here. So it's just lovely to see them coming across. And the Rosecraft blades, they're modern knives. Have got some interesting patterns apart from anything else. But the traditional patterns just are an added bonus or an added stream to the whole Rough Rider and whatever else is out there at the same time.
and especially for this country where the slip joints are probably going to be the most popular.
Yeah, the big sellers.
The big sellers over here. And thankfully now they're making, I don't know what it is, but it's just a name they give you as like an ambassador for them. So I'm going to be getting knives sent to me from them so I can get them reviewed so you'll know what you're buying. Hopefully before it hits the shelves in Heine, it'll give you a bit of a heads up.
See, Slippy, this is a little word of the wise. You're not sleeping with the right people, mate, okay? Because that could have been you. That could have been you.
I'm happy to keep myself to myself. I don't want to be sleeping with
I know,
random
sir.
people.
It's a real tight line. I don't do a lot of it anymore. I used to do so much.
I know he was a real slut.
Yeah.
Has to be
Liz.
said.
Well, there's
But,
an
Still
ass.
talking about sleeping with people? Yeah. No.
There's an ass and ambassador for a reason. So, no.
That's why I have them on.
Yeah, there you go. Bada bing. Excellent.
So that's
No, and
lovely. I
I'm really
hope-
happy that you guys can get the Rosecraft. I felt the same way when James' company started off around the Taylor Eye weekends.
Yeah.
You know, Arthur Wright and Sons. I spoke with Michael May. They ship to the U.S., so I might be picking one of those up. So that's all fantastic. Being able to get the Sheffield stuff
Yeah.
here.
It's
It's got to
fantastic.
feel the
It
same
really
way
is.
for you guys.
Yeah.
But I think this last 2 years, the last, excuse me, the last 2 years has made a difference because there's been more YouTubers from the UK that are now making videos, and that's just amazing. I love that. I mean, I was the sole person for years there. Nearly, there was very few making them.
It wasn't that you were the sole person. It's just that it felt that way.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Endless
There's more
videos.
I'm going to get the shillelagh out.
No, I can. You know me. I can take a beating, Stephen. I mean, it's just I'm not sure that we should screen it live. That's the only thing.
No, we should.
Oh, really?
I do have to give credit to Paddy for this particular knife. This
Okay.
back to Sachs for a moment, if we will. But we have the Explorer here, and when he whipped out that little
Best tool.
I was like, man, I could use that. You could,
Hang on a second.
I
hang
could
on a
definitely
second.
use that.
Yeah, with the two
Yeah,
legs
no,
of
with
glasses on. Yeah.
Honestly, it's the best tool of the lot. They seem to have that, and that's why I got Justin to make me a 2-layer one with the magnifying glass in it. I just adore that knife. Goes everywhere with me.
But
And then
I'm
of-
sorry, John, but
That inline screwdriver too. Can't do without that.
mate, that's not an Explorer. This is an Explorer.
Oh, here comes the snobbery once again.
What, in Shrek 3?
Check that out. Emerald green. Oh,
Shrek
yes.
green.
That is nice.
Thank you very much. Hello. But I have to say,
it's not
no,
a-
I mean, the
Is
Explorer.
that a
The Explorer's a
exclusive
fantastic.
color?
Hang on, he said. Let me just be. Do you remember a video that people took the mickey out of me because he was told me to shut up? Shut up!
Okay, sorry, John.
Exactly the same
He's
thing,
pulling a bit.
and he
He's
done
pulling a
it.
bit. That's nice, but mine's better.
I've been hanging around him too long. That's the trouble.
I wasn't singing. He sang that out.
He corrupted me. I'm not like this normally, my precious. Sorry, John. Apologies.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. I do like
That's
the green.
awful.
Is
But
that
you're
exclusive
not-
to
but
someone,
seriously-
Judd?
Seriously though, you're not wrong about the Explorer. It's a cracking knife. It really is.
Yeah, it's one of my favourites too.
Yeah, I like it.
I just wish they'd put that magnifying glass on more of the 2-layer ones because it makes a huge difference to have that. You have it on the inline Phillips screwdriver on one side and then the knife on the other. Perfect.
I've added that little bit there too.
Oh yeah. Again, for the glasses owner, absolutely vital, that wee screwdriver.
Yeah, must have.
Yeah. Worth its weight in gold.
Since I've bought all these knives, all these sacks, I have never used a screwdriver once. I used to use it all the time. And since I've got all the sacks now that's got it on it, I haven't had to use it. This new set of specs haven't gone,
Going that way.
yeah, they haven't gone that way.
You mean you haven't sat on them yet?
Oh, I know he's been very careful. It's unlike him. It has to be said. There's jerseys in as well.
Hello,
Pete.
Pete.
How are you? And but actually, speaking, and before we leave, Victorinox, have you guys seen Felix Imler? I was talking to Stephen about this
Yeah, I've
yesterday. Have
seen
you
it.
seen Felix Imler's review of the new Venture series knives?
No,
The
I
fixed
haven't.
blades, yeah, I have. They look really good.
They do, and but I mean, being a gadget freak, it's not even the knife itself, which is nice, but it's just a bushcraft knife, but it's the collection of all the little gubbins. I love
Yeah,
that
like
word.
the pen and the tweezers and all that are in the sheet.
Oh,
Come
good.
on.
packaging of
Come
it.
on, it's the worst offer on YouTube right now. It's the worst offer. It's about £150 for the full package, and you're getting a £15 Mora with a couple of screwdrivers. When Mora actually take over and copy it and do the same thing, then I'll buy it. I
don't know
just.
about that.
Well, what's special about it? It's the same steel.
Oh no, it's the same. No,
It's just-
but that's that I know I agree with you in many ways. I mean, but it's a Victorinox, so you're getting the quality of it, but it is impinging on Moore's part
Basic
of the market,
model, yeah.
and very very much. And the basic model is very like a Moore. It's a rubber handle
Yeah.
fixed blade knife. It really is.
And they're charging 150. How do you justify that to your bank balance? So I couldn't justify that to my bank balance.
Victorinox and it goes in the collection, and I'm addicted.
I couldn't justify that, says the man who bought a Sapenza.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I will use that Sabenza and I'll enjoy the aesthetics of it for the rest of my life. That bushcraft knife's going to lie in the drawer. You know, how often am I going to take that out and use that and pay 100? I mean, I've got a Mora that's got a... I've adapted it. I have tape around it for emergencies. I have a fire tool, you know, a fire starter. I mean, come on, what more do you need? Stop making me feel bad.
I know, but it's so easy. John, you were about to show us something there. Go.
Yeah.
Oh, Swiss Champ, a classic.
That's my ridiculous knife.
The world's heaviest knife.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so impractical.
Well, you can always go for the XXL or
Well,
whatever the hell it's called.
how much would you pay for that?
I paid 60. What was it? 66, I think.
There you go. If they had that knife that done and do it under £100, say 95 quid, I would probably buy it, but not at 150. That's ridiculous.
I tend to agree with you.
And I think if everybody goes and buys it, which they probably will, because they like the sacks. I like sacks, but not the kind you like.
Everybody likes the sex.
No, gentlemen, please. Let's keep it as family viewing, all right?
No.
We're on Stephen's channel. What's family friendly about it?
That's very true.
Certainly not
That's
French
very true.
friendly either.
Oh no, don't get him started on the French, for goodness sake.
I like the French. I've got some lovely French knives.
No, that's French knives, not the
Yeah,
French.
We could have left it there, Pete. Well done. Stir that pot a little bit more. We'll get banned and taken off the air completely. John, I have to say that the Swiss Champ is one of those knives. Actually, I think it was two summers ago. I deliberately put it on a belt and went for a very long walk with it in the hope that I would find some use for it. But all it did was sit on my belt as a very noticeable chunk of weight on my belt. It was lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a fantastic knife. It's just a brilliant exercise in engineering from where I'm sitting, I have to say.
Right. So you have to get one of the sheaths on your belt that rests straight down the middle. And you can use it doubly as a codpiece. And you just walk about with that on there.
Hey, hang on. You forgot Justin's size. That's knee pad.
Only if I use the dangler. Only if I use the dangler, the suspension clip. Oh,
Yeah,
dear.
you gotta keep balanced in your life. You don't want this on one side or the other.
Oh, no, but you have to balance it out with something equally large on the other side.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, like 3 or 4 bricks.
yeah.
But I mean, that's another knife that's a real talking piece. And yeah, it's not cheap, but it's a lovely talking piece. And the kids love to see things like that.
And again, Six Gun Slinging has it right. It is for the kid in
that's
all
exactly
of
what
us.
it
It's that sort of what else is on it? What else is on it? Kind of thing. As you keep on opening it up and opening it up, it's there's just something very special about it. But again, it's not a knife that you'd carry or use an awful lot. You might keep it in a toolbox somewhere, but
Yeah, it's sort of like a camping knife, and you just chuck it in your pack.
yeah, just in case. It's the just in case knife, most definitely. Just in case
Just
you
in
need.
case there's an apocalypse and you need 57 tools all on one knife.
Yeah. But to talk about collecting sack knives, as you know, about a year ago I went buck mad on them, ended up with about 40 odd knives. And to be honest with you, it's taken me a year to appreciate them properly, because I think as works of just sheer brilliance and how they repeat their business, I mean, the fit and finish of a sack knife is a marvel. They make millions and millions of them, and you very rarely get something that's wrong. Maybe a bit of blade rub or something, but very rarely. So I love them for that standard. What I've got to now, I've got a stage where I've got ones that I know I'll use, and that's why I'm sort of, but I think I needed to try them all together. That sounds crazy. That's great marketing by SAC as well.
Oh yeah.
I think I needed to try them all before I realised what I actually like. And I still like too many of them.
Yeah. It's like you buy them all, and then you realise
Yeah.
the 91mm compact was the best, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't stop at that. You let. But if I'm going to do this, I need this one, and I'm at that stage now where I'm trying to get them down and down. That's all you need.
And there you go.
Except that.
The compact, okay, with Tash and Mesher, micarta scales. You too. But hang on, Matt, watch this. Phillips on the back. It's a compact tinker.
I just got the shit corkscrew.
Now, Matt, easiest modification to make is to put the back tool on. So, if you haven't got there yet, that's the one you should do. Definitely.
I'll get there.
Although it has to be said that it takes a very special moment where you're going to ruin a perfectly good compact.
See, there's this person I know. Unfortunately, they've stopped being a business, but I'm sure Dan will do it for me.
Yeah.
I know. It was very selfish of him to stop doing that.
I have 2 knives. I would like you to make them into one, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
And he'll do it, and you know you'll get a good job done.
Yeah, you do a fantastic job.
Very, very true.
Right, let's stop talking about sacks. I'm bored with them now.
Yeah, he's very easy.
Show another.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to talk about stats.
What have you got?
Well, this is the waiter. I just recently reviewed that one as well, but
Yeah.
just for the most basic, inexpensive sack, really, really good value for that. I think I paid $17 for this.
Yeah.
So you just the basics. You got the corkscrew on the back and just the main tools that you might need. Combo tool and then the main blade.
As your essential tool for a party or a meal or anything, it is just first class. I gave one of them to my sister-in-law, just as an excuse, because I give sacks to everybody pretty much, and it was a case of, that's the perfect, because she's a bit of a dinner party person, and it was just a perfect solution for opening a bottle of wine or popping a bottle of beer or whatever else, or cutting some cheese. It just worked perfectly for that.
Yeah, I find the 84s to be a little small for me personally, but
Yeah.
But as a carry, John, they're so good.
there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because of my tiny girly hands, I love an 84, I must admit. And my ideal would be a golfer, an 84mm, which is the 84mm compact, which is no longer produced, but that would be absolutely, I'd love to have
I'm
one.
sure you could find someone with one somewhere.
Yeah,
You just pay for it.
You just pay, and I mean, unfortunately, much as I love sacks, I'm unwilling to pay like ridiculous money. You know what? The most pleasure I get out of with the Swiss Army knives is getting the bargain on them, because they are worth, the value of them is so much more than you would pay for them. You know, sticker value kind of thing, or sticker price. But when you get a good deal on them, like your Super Tinker and Amazon, whatever else, it just gives you such a good feeling. It is cracker. It really is a good.
It was the Super Tinker was a no-brainer. I think the normal Tinker was like 21, and then the Super Tinker, because it was in a clamshell, was 22. I was like, why would you not?
Yeah, exactly. To have those scissors, yeah, absolutely.
Here's another way to put that. Have you ever bought a knife? Because I do it regularly. You buy a knife on the second-hand market before you've actually done a read-up on what they're selling for in other places, and then when you get it, you're not sure if you've got a good deal or not, and you're too frightened to go and check the knife out.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, I do it all the time. Yeah. And I got this last week. Now, it's in fabulous condition. That's the
bayonet.
The bayonet, and it was made on the year I was born, and it was the bayonet I used when I was in the Navy. There we go. It's in mint condition, absolutely mint, unused. Not even an edge has been put on it properly. So, but I paid, in the end, I think I paid 75 quid. And I think it was a good bargain because of its condition. I mean, it literally has been redone completely. Now, for the purists out there who like the old battered one were charging the same price as this good one. So I thought, no, I'm going to go with a nice one. Yeah. I'm never going to use it. So, but I still haven't gone and looked if I got a bargain or not. It just seemed like it to me.
Well, if it's worth it to you, then it's a bargain to you, isn't it?
But I'm still tempted to go and have a wee look just to see.
No,
You're the opposite. You've got the nice shiny one. I've got the battered one.
Yeah, but yours has got history.
I'm the guy with the battered one.
Is that not your grandfather's, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the difference. That's history.
holy Moses, how long is that
And they're
thing?
beautiful.
That's
That's
what
not
she
even the
said.
longest. Right, this podcast is cancelled because of Jed. But this is.
I just got in before Thrifty did. It was on the tip of his tongue.
I can, you look at his face. You can tell when.
I just knew the Hobbit was going to speak up first.
Yeah, that's a 1917, and this is the longest one, which is an 1871,
Holy mother!
which is just a sword.
Uh-huh.
And to be honest with you, they're coming up on Etsy now. All those, the French cavalry and all that, the Polish, they're coming up on Etsy. They're still a bit pricey, but I've noticed they're starting to come down a wee bit because I love a collection of them now. And I don't even know why. I've never been any interested.
Where would you put them?
On the wall.
What do you mean? They're just on my windowsill. Where else are you going to put them? I'm not even joking. They're on the windowsill.
That's awesome.
You guys with the length restrictions have the longer knives. That's funny. That's just,
Yeah.
I don't have anything.
Yeah, you put an automatic up on that windowsill, you'll have all the police force in the hemisphere coming. No.
I've just bought the 7-inch Ontario knife for the butcher's knife to make sure I get hold of an Ontario before they potentially go away.
Yeah. All the prices go through the roof.
I've got a rat one. I've got the big 7-inch, and I've got a wee paring knife. The paring knife is fantastic, John.
Yeah, I've got
if you get
that
hold
in
of
my
that, it's
cart
dirt cheap.
Yeah,
Dirt cheap.
like $9 here, something.
Yeah, it's really cheap.
No brainer. Just go for it.
I mean, I love them in the kitchen. My wife hates them because they're carbon.
Yeah.
She hates the fact that it gets dirty, and it's just she's never going to use it. But it's a fantastic knife.
It's not really dirty. It just looks dirty.
No. Yeah, but sometimes my wife doesn't understand me.
Do you mean all the time?
You mean always?
I mean, I don't have one, and I can tell my future one already doesn't understand me.
Well, that's because you're making the mistake of trying to be understood. They just got to accept you for who and what you are.
Yeah,
Or
I like
at least
long,
not beat you
sharp
too
bits of
much.
metal for no reason. That's it. If you don't like it, go away.
Oh, Slippy, and that is why you have no friends. No,
Any reason.
So, Six Gun Singing was asking, is there a true Irish knife?
Ours is probably going to go back to that Gaelic thing. Once you go Gaelic, so like the likes of the knives, the Scottish would have had the dirks and things like that.
Shandu.
It would have been shared right around the whole country. Do you know what I mean? Because they were cheap to make, and anybody with any knowledge of bending metal or cutting metal could have made one. So no, I don't think to answer that question. No, I don't know of anyone personally, but I've not got into it too deeply. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Did you see the Michael Morgan comment, Judd? He says, "Let's do a fundraiser to send Case over to Victorinox.
Yeah, I saw that.
QC."
Yeah, but they'll get Don't forget they'll get the Victorinox pricing too. You get a Mora for 150 quid.
Oh, hang on a second. Case know all about pricing. If you don't, I mean, they have got that bit nailed down.
But you see, I don't think so. I think the 60 to 80 pound over here range of case knives is probably the same in dollars over there. When they do them good, they're flipping brilliant value for money. It's only when they're bad that there's a problem.
Yeah, but it's getting them.
You just have
the
to
unreliability of them.
If you can't find them, you're not looking hard enough.
Yeah, I think you just have to spend more time finding them and checking them before you buy them. Like making sure you can see pictures of the back spine, the rubbing on the blades.
There's Tony in.
The best place I've actually found for case is that Lamnia website in Finland.
Yes, the Scandinavian one, yeah.
I've emailed them a couple of times and said, look, I'm going to buy some case knives. Can you make sure they're good before they come in? And every time they've turned up, they've been great. I ordered one from inside the UK and it sucked.
I have to say I like Moonraker too. I've had good luck with them. He checks them for me, which is nice. Yeah. And like sometimes you're not going to, even after they check him, you're maybe not going to get perfect centering, but as long as it's not rubbing, I don't care.
Yeah, like when I say like check them, I don't care if there's a little bit of blade rub, if it's a stock one or whatever. I just don't want gaps I can see
Yeah.
daylight through on the back.
Yeah, that's the one that kills me, is the big gaps.
Yeah. How did you find the service from Lamnia?
Good.
Excellent.
You ordered from Lamnia?
Yeah, yeah. It usually
And-
takes between 7 and 8 days to get here, but it's. Oh, did you pay extra though?
No.
No. Oh, well,
Wow,
that's
that's
really
brilliant.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think after the sort of that was very recently. It was in like the last 2 months. I sort of placed the order in the morning, and then on the fourth morning, they sort of showed up. So it must either I caught them as they were just sending out, or I don't know. But it was 3 days for a couple of nights, and then they did a great job.
Because I was looking at some. There's another brand. Is it Roper that we
Your
can't
roper
get?
knives, yeah.
Yeah, and I was looking at some of the ones in Lamnia, and
John has some lovely ropers. The other boys
Yeah.
in our Sunday
Roper is actually
podcast.
going from Lamnia as well. Whatever they've got left is what they've got left. So if you want one, order it.
I think I looked. There wasn't that many there, is there now?
no. Well, I
No,
mean, I looked a
I
few
got
weeks
the-
ago. It was just I was looking to see if there was anybody who sold them. So
Yeah, I
I
got
think
the
it was
last
John actually
Salvo
pointed
up
us
there,
that
I think.
direction.
Apart from that, I think they're all gone now. I don't
Yeah,
even know where it is.
yeah. But would you rate them, John? Roper?
I think their fit and finish is probably a little better than Rough Rider, but kind of in that area. But the thing that's great about them is the blades. They got the 1065 blades. And
Yeah.
just
That's what would.
no one in that price range is offering, the 1065 carbon blades like that. So
That
for that reason, I
beautiful-
like it a lot.
Look at that beautiful spay blade on that. It's not just gorgeous. Seriously though, I think that is a beautiful spay blade.
That's a
Carbon
nice,
steel, so you're getting the patina on there.
Yeah.
very nice.
Not too keen on that really downswept. It looks very downswept.
That's
The,
like a
the
Turkish
clip.
It
clip,
is
yeah.
very downswept.
Yeah, that
yeah.
would sort of just aesthetically. I don't think it would matter when we're cutting, but I
Yeah.
think aesthetically. Oh well, that's really down as well.
It
My
is.
goodness.
Good
But
grief.
the fit and finish on it is great.
It's a nice wee knife.
Beautiful.
I've used that knife for kitchen use a lot, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, I suppose that'd be nice to go through. Yeah.
I
Man,
find
is that
the
a- is that a
downward
roper
one,
or a
I don't
slip
really
or a
like it
rougher?
to look at the downward sweat, but I think to use in like the kitchen or if you're like cutting fruit or something, I think it's a great angle for it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing like pull towards you cuts. And you can sort of hold
Uh-huh.
it like with the thumb here. It's really sort of useful.
Yeah, that's the roper. Good.
Yeah. And the walk and talk on it as well is fantastic. There's loads of snap on all the blades. I don't know what else you
Byron's
can
trying
really
to get
ask
a rise out of
for.
you.
Byron, you know I'm right. Spay is the way to go.
And here we go.
No.
Here we go.
Spay blades are for nut jobs.
I can fit into that.
We all know.
Oh well, yeah, we definitely know that.
That bloody shillelagh's coming out. Somebody's going to get battered before the show's over.
Well, there's only
What he
one
means is
person
I
who
am.
needs
I thought I would fall out with them. I'm not going to speak to them for about a week.
I don't even know what I said. I mean, it's getting.
All right, let me ask you this, guys. All right, if we can't include Victorinox, which we've already spent ages talking about, what would you say any knife brand the most that you get for your money?
Ooh, good question.
That's a great question. The most you get for your money. I'm probably going to be very boring. I'm going to have to be boring because I actually believe it. And for me, the GEC is what I get for my money. I truly believe I'm getting great value for a handmade knife. Well, nearly handmade completely. But, for that style of knife with 1095 blade steel, bone covers, which are just absolutely beautiful, and wood, whatever you want. To me, that's complete value for money. When you consider the average price is about, now this is right up the average price is going to be $130 if you're buying it direct,
Right.
from one of the shops. That is just value beyond.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue when you're buying them at retail, but being that that's so hard, it's almost like I have to take it off the list for that reason.
John, you're right. I think it's actually easier to buy GECs over here in the UK than it is in America.
Yeah.
We've
But,
got a couple of options.
I had
Michael
one
Morgan
brand in
saying
mind.
maybe
I probably would have said brother right now. Or
Brother, fantastic value, yeah.
Yeah, and RJ's doing some nice reviews on some of the Brother knives, and you can't go wrong with the Brother, I have to say.
Yeah, John, what was that one you just reviewed? Was it the
the
1511?
1511, yeah.
Yeah.
Real nice, that is.
Is
Nice
that the
little gentleman's
Warncliffe?
knife.
No, it's a thin gentleman's
Oh
knife.
yes, I saw that.
I mean, I remember reviewing these exact same knives about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and they really didn't take off then. I believe this time they've hit the market at the right time and they've got the right product, and there is a lot more people who want modern slip joints.
Yeah, I only wish they just made more, more of them, just more different ones.
New models, I would love them to bring some new models to the game.
Absolutely.
But they were taken over by
Watchman.
Watchmen. Yeah, they were taken over from Watchmen. And I haven't had any sent to me for ages. I'll maybe send them a wee text, because you see their fixed blades. Their fixed blades are the best 35 quid you'll ever spend. They're fantastic. In fact, I'm taking some down. Me and Justin are going to do some outside podcasts. Very soon we're going to go and sort of cook up a dinner and test out some knives down at a wee place close to the house. And
And you
I'm going to take the
trust
brother.
to do that alone.
Well, just say a prayer for me, Matt, okay? Because, I mean, I'm not so
Oh,
worried
you're
about getting
talking
stabbed.
to the wrong man here. I'm very unreligious.
Oh, I know, but just for my sake this time, because, I mean, if I'm going down to the woods with this guy...
When
I'm not
you go down to the woods today, be sure of a big surprise.
Anyway, and
Well,
yes,
you're
he
going down to
squeals
the
like a
woods with
girl.
Yogi Bear, basically, aren't you?
It's not the getting stabbed worries me, it's the food poisoning.
There's different types of stabbing.
Oh, no, just no.
I'm out.
There you go.
No, it was way too much for him.
You're going to the woods with a sailor, that's your fault.
Oh, dear God. So, anyway, to come back to Thrifty's question, Slippy, best value knife or brand or whatever?
Without money as an object, I kind of think Rough Rider Reserve to a point.
Yeah, I can see that too, yeah.
Certain ones, though, because some of them are horrendous, but certain ones I'd say yes, like their Barlow. You can't. There isn't a better Barlow out there, I'm afraid, at the moment.
Not at that price.
At all, nothing. Even stuff like, I know people don't like the multi-bladed ones, but the Kayak, I really like that one.
If it was thinner, I would buy it at a drop of a hat.
That's the thing. People don't like the thickness of it. I actually get on with it quite well. I carry it pretty much all the time. But I get it. It is a bit thick, and there is a bit of gap in the middle. But for the wood you get on it.
Oh, the materials are worth 3 times what they're putting in compared to other knives out there.
Yeah.
If they made that thinner and it had blade rub, everybody bitching about that. So you can't win, right?
Yeah. But I'd say the best one of the reserve line is this one.
Warncliffe.
I actually passed that one on. I had a couple of them and I passed them all.
Yeah, isn't that the sway
Single
back?
blade. It's nice and thin. There's a decent
it's perfect,
blade
yeah.
stock, and you've got an easy open. For me, that's the best value one.
Do you know what put me off? It's only the small little, and it's always down to panicky little things. I've gone off swaybacks completely. I have got rid of all my swaybacks, even my GEC swaybacks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had the Viper, all the ones that everybody wants.
Yeah.
I've passed them on because I just don't like swaybacks. They never feel as if I'm getting a full grip.
That's why this is a good sort of talking point, because everyone's is different.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love talking about things. What about you?
A smaller one, Pat. You still have that.
And
I've got the one I've got is the wee case. It's fantastic, but it's only a 3-inch. It's only a 3-inch knife, so it's perfect. I don't need any more. What do you think then?
In terms of value for
Value
money,
for money.
Well, if there's anyone, even feeding into the equation what Stephen was saying earlier about, are you worried about checking whether you've got a good bargain or whatever, and the feeling that you get about either buyer's remorse or whatever. The only knives I have never second guessed myself about buying without any kind of regret or anything else are my Ashley Harrisons. Absolutely think without a doubt I would spend that money every single time for one of Ashley's, and have absolutely no concerns or regrets in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Be it
Every
the
day
first
I
one I
still
bought
check
off
his
Stephen
page
to
twice a month.
say this
Every
Now,
day
right.
does that include the Arthur Wright, or are you talking about a custom zone?
You see, that's the problem,
yeah.
because if you're going to say, Ashley, that's a custom, that's not an everyday buy knife.
All right. fair
Even
enough.
though the prices are very reasonable, it's not an everyday price. It's a handmade by one person custom.
Well, in that case, I'm going to go a wee bit off pace, and I'm going to go for something weird like real steel. I think.
Funny, that's exactly what's in my. Matt's a real steel.
I mean, because I mean, you guys
Love
are real
real steel.
traditional guys, but I think real steel do some fantastic. I mean, my favorite is the real steel compact, or
I think I definitely want to get this one. He's got
is that the
Matt.
Barlow?
Yeah.
Matt,
Yeah.
are you a Real Steel ambassador?
I don't know, John. I could be.
No, Matt Sawyer putting the S into
Yeah,
ambassador.
we're still waiting for our first samples, but both of us are supposed to be ambassadors. So
It takes a
see.
certain kind of fella that can carry that sort of a handle. I'm thinking they'll give me a wee medal I could wear.
No, you need robes. Or
Robes. Or like the Pope.
Is that going to be on next week's
Well,
episode?
if you say
Matt
D
Rose.
robe, I'll go for that.
something.
Pope
Next
Paddy.
week on Paddy, matching robes.
Yeah. But no, I agree, Jeb, with you that Real Steel, they've got some fantastic stuff. I've got a huge drawer of everything Real Steel, pretty much.
Well, you're the
Yeah.
big Luna fan,
Well,
aren't you? So
Yeah, I love the Luna.
Here's
Right.
one that's going to. Oh, go ahead. I think
I know
that's.
Stephen doesn't like him, but suck it.
Yeah.
is that the anodized titanium one?
No, this is G10.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What are your
Very
thoughts on
nice.
that, Judd? How much do you like the Luna?
Well, I had a Luna and gave it away because it really didn't sit well with me. It felt a wee bit flimsy to me. But then I got the compact. No, not the compact. What do you call it? The G Slip. G Slip compact. That's what it is. G Slip compact, which I think is a fantastic knife. But the big difference with it, yeah, is that it's got the steel liners under the G10, which for
Yeah.
me makes it a lot more rigid. And yet it's still an ultra light knife. See, as a summer knife, as a summer carry, you can't get a better knife, and it's such a fantastic slicer. It really is.
Another
Here's
great-
the sad point. If you're going to actually sit and this is a lovely.
Yeah, I like that one too. That's the Solus, isn't it? Yeah, that's pretty.
I mean, we can all actually sit here and we can pick knives, you know, that we like. And I know, you know, like Real Steel is a Chinese company, but to be honest with you, if you want to talk about value for money, there is only one company out there that you'd have to put at the top, because they're absolutely feeding into us, into YouTubers, and that's Civivi. Their quality's amazing, their material's amazing, and they're just beating everybody else to the goal sign. I think they're not my like, but
Yeah, they're just boring to me. That's
yeah,
problem.
but
I've
they're
been-
feeding into what people are buying, and they're just keeping
I've been sent
making
a
and
couple of-
making.
a couple of their knives. They've recently just sent me that Kiwi to try, you know, the little tiny mini flipper.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to be the last one. It's too modern for me. I've kind of gone away from modern, and I'm not going to be accepting knives that I don't like. So
Well, you
probably
see,
shoot myself in the foot. But
I mean, I don't have. I think this is the only Civivi I've got left, actually. But oh, sorry, my Elementum and the Baby Banter. I love both of those, but I don't. But I know what you mean. And the other thing about it is that there seem to be. It's not just Civivi. There seem to be an awful lot of similar kind of lines of that. Kaiser, Kubi, all of those, and they bring out very similar ranges, and they're all fantastic knives. I'm not taking away from what they are, and I mean, all you need to do is watch Stasa for 5 minutes, and you're bombarded with about half a dozen knives from all over the place. What's the other one? Vostede is the other one that's coming through at the minute as well, and some of them are fantastic looking knives.
The only
but, it's almost that feeling of been here, been there, done that kind of thing.
That's
The
my
only thing I would say is the likes of Kaiser do make a lot of different patterns. I mean, especially if you go back into their old collection as well, they made some really impressive knives in the beginning, and I think they're actually come back better and stronger. I think the Kaisers. I mean, that simple little one I got
The
there.
T1.
The
Yeah.
T1 in micarta for 70 quid or something.
Yeah.
It is unbelievably well made. It's
Yeah.
such a great knife.
But
Yeah, I
that's-
do like. There's one Kaiser I particularly like, and it's the bevy.
Yeah.
You had the bevy, didn't you?
Well,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, tiny
that's
slip
that's the concept bevy. It's not a
Oh yeah,
Kaiser.
same thing. Same thing.
Great.
In the bloopers!
Damn it.
Well, listen.
It's another one of the, it's another one of them Chinese
Gonna have to
companies
fire
that
you now.
they bring out a knife that is really good, but a lot of the stuff, as John said, it's
It just,
It's
the same as the
samey.
last company's done.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just too much of the
Yeah,
same
and
thing.
the irony, John, is that you're saying that they're all very samey, yet you're addicted to collecting sow bellies.
Yeah.
But this,
Yeah, hey, I don't claim not to be a hypocrite. That's the thing.
Just as well in this company. And anyway,
But
that's Stephen's job.
But it is, I mean, we're all entitled to have one favourite knife that we buy a lot of. Mine is GEC, I love them. But it's the other ones apart from your favourite that sort of, what's getting you excited? And I can honestly say I have nothing that's getting me excited out there at the moment
Right.
because they all look the same, or they look the same as one that came out 6 months ago with a tweak.
Yeah.
And the
Well,
companies are just
Jersey. He calls it the fizz. You know, you get that little, you get
very
that
rare.
excitement. You know, and those knives like Civivi, I've seen enough of them now, and when they release a new one, I'm expecting it to look like something I've already seen, and
Yeah.
it just doesn't give me that nice warm fuzzy feeling.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I've been really fortunate this year. I've had two knives that have really given me the fizz. And one of them is the knife that you've just reviewed, the
RB5.
no, I can't think of the name of it now.
The Herman knives.
The Herman knives,
Oh,
but
the
it's a custom. It's a custom, and it just gave me the fizz. It really, I got so excited, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the other one is my Chris Reeve. That knife is just, I love that knife. And it's not perfect at all. It's definitely not perfect, but as far as well made goes, and I'm taking that down to our wee woodcraft day down, and I'm going to use that down there cutting wood properly to make fires and kindling, and I want to see what it's like, because they call it the work knife. I want to see what it's actually, well, both of us to use it and see what we feel about it. But I love it. But there's very few.
Well, I mean, to be fair, those are both plus $800 knives, so they should
Yeah.
be giving you some amount of excitement. I would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, again, after that, my Jack Wolf knives, I still think they're amazing. I don't like all the patterns, and I've found that out recently because the last two haven't been my sort of liking.
Right. Yeah.
But on the whole, on their fit and finish, the materials and what they're doing, I love them. Yes, would I like them at 200 quid? Of course I would, but they're not going to be because.
Well, I mean, I have to say, I mean, talking about knives that get you excited. I do. I mean,
they're-
I have spent the money on the 4 Jack Wolves that I've got now. I've got good deals on them, grand. So you get that bargain thing, and that's the Vampire Jack, and it is. I have to say, I get a huge amount of pleasure about carrying around what for me is effectively a high end knife, but it's a knife that all of the knives just sit so well in the hand and are just so nice to use. I just love them to bits, I must admit.
Well, the fact Jack Wolf is I still feel like those are very much users. And when I looked at the, what was it, the Polish knife, what was it again?
I believe if you get a Jack Wolf knife and you don't use it, you're not getting half of the effect of what the knife's supposed to do.
Oh, mine's a user. My bolsters are all beaten up. My carter's full of oil from my hands. It's been used well.
Yeah,
It just
I mean, I
feels
don't
like
mean
more of a user for them. So,
again, they're not a user that you're going to beat up. They're just a user to use for. Well, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm not going to baton with it. You know, if I take my Rat 1 out, I'll baton with it. But I mean, you know, I just think they are genuinely the high end range. And again, you're cutting out a whole lot of the market. I'd love them to come out with a line that's maybe, you know, like a 71, a GEC 71. You know, the working blades. but having the better materials and that fit and finish that goes with it, I just think that would be like the Sodbuster, a little Sodbuster, but in the high end material. What a fantastic knife that would be. And maybe at a price to sort of maybe bring the price down to even 150 to 175 and have a range of them.
I'd be happy if it just had D2 on it.
Yeah, exactly. But that's. I mean, I'd be like you as well. I don't care because I can sharpen. It doesn't matter what the steel is. If they like the knife and the style, they'll buy it. Yeah. But it would be nice if you're going to spend 175. I wouldn't want D2. That would not be 175.
No. Like sub 100, isn't it? But
yeah, but M390
doesn't really matter.
Stick M390 on. Everybody's getting down on it because there's too much of it, but it's bloody good.
Yeah. But
that's an interesting thought you just come up with there, Paddy. I didn't really consider it too much, but like when you're thinking about a knife and your considerations for whether you like it or not, I think probably blade steel is probably fourth or fifth for me, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just lower down the list.
But John, and I think the simple fact is, if you've started your knife collection out and you've used a lot of Rough Riders and that sort of price range, fine rightly that 440A. There's not many days I'm going to blunt 440A, so do you know what I mean? And once you've got that out of your system, the blade steel is not that important. It's showy off blade, that's all it is, to be honest. I mean, we done a trade, I've got a Maximate over there. When am I ever going to blunt Maximate? It'll probably be the year 2030, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But there is a collecting itch as well with blade
2030?
Will you live that long?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Of course you will. I might not.
Not now.
No, I might not even get out of the room tonight for crying out loud.
Dies from Schlaley related injuries.
But no, I was just about to say that there's a collecting itch as well in terms of steels, and I've heard you say it, and I've said it myself. It's I don't have S90V. I want something in this pattern, but in S35 or whatever else. And it's almost a case of the little gaps in your collection that you collect. It's not about the practicality or the usability of the knife. It's about having that little gap filled almost. And there's something definitely about that. But in terms of the pragmatism, in terms of what you're talking about in terms of usability, does it matter? In the end run, no, I agree
one of
with
the
John.
best
Probably
things
third
about
or fourth time.
One of the best things about the newer, latest blade steel coming out is that it creates a hierarchy, and so all those other blade steels that are kind of in the middle, all those price points just keep on dropping right into my lap. So you've got
that's it.
I got an S110V that's $200 today. Give it another year and see where we're at with that.
And that's exactly what I was going to say about the M390. The more people use it, it's like all technology. The more people use it, the more sort of traction it gets in the market. The cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper it gets. Yeah. And so 2 years from now, M390 will be the same as D2 was 2 years ago. So it was. It's one of those things, but it still doesn't take away from the fact that it's harder, tougher. Holds an edge better.
There's one of the knives that I can get the most sharpest, and it's one of the best little cutters. This is an IRA James. An IRA? Not an IRA. Not an IRA James.
Definitely not the
IRA. ERA. James brand, which is an old brand. It's an old carbon steel. And let me tell you, it just puts literally a couple of strops, and it would you could skin somebody. It's just beautiful. And it's a tiny little simple knife.
It's the geometry as well.
Yeah. Oh, obviously, yeah. I mean,
thin.
There's not much point getting sort of. There you go. There's a perfect example. The Hinders of this world, the big, the Medfords, which is why Medford stuck at D2. He knows it was good enough for what he was doing, and his heat treat was good. But I mean, the geometry, it wouldn't have mattered what steel you put on. It's not going to cut much better than a D2. Yeah. So. Yeah, I think I just wish, but it's very hard to get that out to people who've just come around because and I did myself, you get wrapped up in this, well, I want better, and you do get wrapped up on that. Well, I do, because I'm just a sucker.
Yeah, I think it's just a natural thing. It's natural.
I did as well at the start when I first started collecting knives. I was like, I kind of want to start collecting better steels and stuff. And then I got to a point, I was just like, well, when am I ever going to need that? And I enjoy Rough Riders and things. It's like, well, I'll just get those. Like,
Look at this. Look at this cheeky brat in the comments.
Yeah. He makes. I mean, but remember that Baron is a cabinet maker, so I mean he knows about what he's speaking here.
He's going to
so
be getting into a cabinet that I put down with nails.
Yeah, I know, Baron, but you and me both know that I'm going to be the one who cuts the string. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's Tony on there. CPM 154 is brilliant, but it's 154 CM is just every bit as good as it. Now, you don't have the edge retention, but it's that old thing. It's so hard to explain to people that don't sharpen how little you actually need to have in your knife. How did people get through the Bronze Age and all that there with no sharpening tools, no diamond stones, no, whatever. And they got through life, and we need Maximate to get through life.
But it is really about getting the latest thing. It's about
It is.
having
just
the
need
most
a
up to date
strop. That's
iPhone.
all you need is a strop.
And it's a hobby. It's a hobby.
Yeah.
And if you're not taking food off your family's table, then there's nothing wrong with what you buy. You just have to buy within that. You don't take food off the family for knives or any hobby.
Yeah.
And that's the best way. If you can keep that balance, buy what you like.
Well, I won't need to feed my family because apparently I'm going to clean your pockets out before I bury you. Boys, we have been going nearly an hour and 20 minutes and it hasn't felt like any time at all. But in my role of time manager, I am going to bring this to a close, okay, and let you guys get away because I'm sure you've got better things to do with your time.
And do you want to know the nice thing is, hopefully you enjoyed it, and I hope we do many more of these because, after we get over the tomfoolery at the beginning, you start to talk about subjects that actually mean something. And I think the people in the comments, there's been so many, and I'm sorry, I've hardly looked at the comments because I'm so enjoying the interaction between you two.
Well, you hardly looked at the comments because you're incapable.
No, but he has it up on this one. I don't have it on my phone.
Oh no, he does lean forward and read it every night. Well, he pretends to read. I mean, we all know that he can't read. But
Yeah, but there's pictures at the bottom. You hit the wee face and you can put pictures up.
Who's that? That's Jersey. Yes, he knows these things. Okay.
Yeah.
Folks, look, guys, thanks a million for joining us. That's been absolutely brilliant.
It really has.
All I can say is that this is the first time that two podcasts are going to be leaving the Thunderdome because, I mean, it's a dead heat here. I mean, it's just a privilege to have you two on. So thanks a million for joining us. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, many more times. Really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for coming. And John, especially for you having to get up before 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Not a problem.
Folks, in the comments again, thanks for all of your participation this evening. Absolutely brilliant.
And I do apologise for those in the comments. We were reading them, but we were enjoying the conversation that much. They just didn't go up very often.
I suppose the other thing we should say is we talked for too long. We committed the cardinal sin that happens on every one of these lives is that, nobody actually had to say in the comments any chance of showing us a knife. But because at least the conversation was remotely related to it. But it's thanks for bearing with us anyway, guys. There you go, one to end on. Thank you, John.
Yeah, we're going to be trying to do this every Thursday if we can, every week if we
Absolutely.
can.
And I mean, also anybody in the comments who wants to come along and do what Thrifty and John have done, or with what Matt and John have done tonight, give us a bell and let us know, and we'll move heaven and earth to make sure that you can get on too.
And go to these two fellas' channel, please. It's Slipjoint Sawyer and Thrifty Kniffy John and Matt. Look, they're two fantastic channels in their own right. The fact that they blend and are doing a channel between them is great because you get two chances of not missing when it's coming up on YouTube because they both advertise when they're coming up, which is great. So thank you both. I mean, also, great channels.
But do bear in mind that when you do leave a comment on their channels, just always say, you're not bad lads, but you're not quite as good as Paddy and Judd. Okay?
You don't have to lie. You don't have to lie.
We don't need fake comments.
Guys, I'll give the last words to you. Anything you'd like to say before we go?
Bye.
Well, firstly,
Matt, see ya. John?
Firstly, don't miss the upcoming episode of Slippy and Thrifty Show. We're going to be right in the top 40 channels And
Brilliant.
Paddy and Judd have just moved down a couple spots after that.
Yes.
So,
Our
yeah.
work here is done.
Thank you very
Guys,
much, guys.
All
Thank
the
you very
best,
much.
folks.
Take care now.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.